Welcome to this energy healing oracle reading, this channeled transmission. If you're new here, hello, I'm Bree, and I'm going to be our guide today to receive some messages, to settle into some healing, to tune in to whatever is in our highest and best good of all. I named this the Elixir of Neutrality for a very good reason. Neutrality is going to be the energetic that is going to walk you through the next few months. It's really important that we all anchor into the frequency of neutrality as the world receives light codes that haven't been received in any of our lifetimes, this lifetime. So there's a few statements that are coming into my consciousness that I'd like you all to maybe return to in future trigger moments. These are very likely to occur for you, or for maybe people that you're close to, or maybe people that are around you but you're not close to, which is we really need to remember how to agree to disagree. This is going to be the statement that I want to pop up into your consciousness the next time that an ego battle presents itself in your life. Because what is about to occur energetically on this planet is going to, I'll say, heighten, or it's not the right word, amplify polarity. Okay? Polarity. So we can say, let's say we have hate and we have love. Okay? That's a polarity. You also probably tune into polarity, maybe some of you that are really active in your dream space. In the astral realm, there's a lower astral and there's an upper astral. Okay, so we can even say your dreams, for example, kind of the darker ones, the scarier ones, the ones that are dipping into your subconscious spheres. That's you experiencing the lower astral, that polarity. Now, when you have the dreams that are like wonderful and they're juicy and it feels like a reunion and it feels like you're getting to know yourself and you wake up feeling inspired, that's when you're dreaming in the upper astral. So, basically this. Some of you pay attention to the Schumann resonance. Some of you pay attention to space weather. Everyone that's in space weather has been like, there's something big is going to happen. There was a lot of predictions about it going to be the 15th, the 16th, and it's been very quiet. It's been very still. It's been very uncharged. And what's about to come through is going to charge everything. It's going to charge up. It's going to amplify. It's going to, anything that is at the bottom of a cavern within you that needs to be cleared out, cleaned out, it's going to get cleaned out. Okay, it's going to be kind of like a pressure washer where anything, any of us, okay, me included, any of us, if we've been burying something, if we've been denying something, if we've been trying to put a story over something that wasn't actually based in truth. It's going to be so well known. The way that I'm tuning into this is that it's definitely going to be catapulted by an X-class solar flare. So that could be a little bit of a cue to you that once we get one of these X-class solar flares, prepare. Get ready. You're probably going to feel it energetically, but we're going to be waking up as a collective humanity to a lot of truths that could potentially make us feel fear. They could potentially make us feel chaos. They could potentially make us feel confusion. And instead of dropping into or dipping into any of those frequencies, this transmission is geared to remind you of the power of neutrality. Also, I want you to ask yourself, and this is definitely a channeled message coming in from the Akashic Records, this is the question I'd like to ask yourself if these scenarios present to you. Is this my battle? Is this mine? Will it benefit me to partake in this argument? Will it benefit me to try to convince someone of something? Because the answer is likely to be no, a lot of times. Does anyone have any questions on what I'm talking about right now? And thank you for the gifts. Does anyone have any questions? I want to be a little bit more involved, interactive today. Any questions on this? What field? In the field of energy healing, 4 years. 4 years. But really, in truth, since the beginning of time, my soul since the beginning of time. What if it feels like the answer to those questions is yes? Great question, Kate. Thank you, Kate. Let's see. If the answer is yes, and you feel like you need to go into something with someone or a group or whatever, just be really cognizant of if you're in the parasympathetic nervous system when you do it. So basically, if you're feeling calm, content, this is my truth, this is a conversation that needs to be had, this is something that needs to be discussed, this is something that needs to be communicated, this is something that needs to be processed, hashed out, yada, 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 then you just need to make sure that you're in the right frame to handle it. Because if you're at all in a space of fear, in a space of spiraling, in a space of friction, in a space of chaos, in a space of battle or fight, you're not in the right energy to do it. So it's going to be more so about timing for this question. So if something does present and you're like, this is my thing to deal with, that's okay. Maybe it is. Maybe you're the truth. Maybe you're the microphone of truth for something that could potentially be polarizing. But what I really want us all to be cognizant of is that some of this stuff that is drudging up within us is soulful. So some of this stuff that you're processing within you and it feels like something that you need to fight in the world may not need to be fought in the world. It may need to be something that you process, unpack, and understand within yourself. Because if we're not clear on what it is that's going on within ourselves first, then anything out there will end in something that you're not going to be happy about. Okay, you're not going to be happy about it. You're going to be regretful. You might end up being resentful. And typically what's coming in right now is understanding. So sometimes we want to go into that external realm to have that hash out, but it's more so about understanding. We want to be understood externally. So check with yourself there of, do I understand myself? Am I understanding what this is? First and foremost. Because then you'll be able to address, and I'm also seeing the word validation. So sometimes we want to fight the battle because we actually unconsciously want validation. So it's a little sensitive, but it's an area to be aware of. Because if we don't have something sorted within ourselves, let's say, we might want to go and flush it out here. Because to the ego, that's like a lot easier than to flush it out in here. Kate, does that answer your question? I just want to make sure I answered that for you. And for anyone else that likely had it as well. Good. So I have a few pre-pulled cards here. And I'm just looking at them because I don't know which one I'm going to read first. And I just want to be really human for a second. This week has been hard for me. This week has been challenging for me because I realized some of my unhealthy attachments, and it's a difficult process. Okay, so I just want to be real about what I'm dealing with because I am dealing with some things personally. Patience. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Raven. Thank you, Kate. And thank you, Deborah. Thank you, all of you. So I accept that everything happens in divine order. So my guides are asking me, they're saying, oh, everyone has something to deal with. Everyone's got something to deal with. Everyone. No one's got it all figured out. And if they're saying they do, and they just believe that temporarily. But where would you be served to have patience in your life? So find the thing that in the last year or so, like you're just not clear on it. You were convinced I had everything figured out. No. I'm still in this human body. If I had everything figured out and I was completely enlightened, I wouldn't be here anymore. But so there's like a bunch coming into the Akashic Records. So first of all, any of you that would want me to scan from your higher self within the Akashic Records, you'd have to say yes. At any time in the transmission, and please know you can oscillate in and out. So sometimes they're showing me that this energetic where I might get to a topic where you're like a little bit squeamish, and you might want to dip into the no for that because you're just not quite ready yet for the reveal. So no, you can swim. No, you can go from the yes to the no. A lot of areas you all need to have some patience in, okay? I'm seeing relationships, a lot of relationships. Partnerships, like a romantic partnership, friendships, family members, co-workers. But also it's more so patience of self. So what I'm seeing right now is that some of you have been working on something within yourself and you know it's the area where you need to shift, you need to change, but you can't seem to quite get it. Have patience with yourself. Have patience with yourself. Know that everything will unfold in divine timing and in divine order. That's it for the patience. Okay. The guides are operating very differently today. Nope, not that one. This one. Boundaries. With all this stuff that we talked about in the beginning of the transmission, this is intertwined with it, but it's like only intertwined with it by like 20%, if this makes sense. Because what they're showing me right now is that some of what we just talked about, a little bit of it has to do with boundaries, but not a lot of it. This boundaries piece is kind of separate, I'll say, from this topic of dealing with the polarity and remaining neutral. So let me just scan for all of you. Are you comfortable setting boundaries? Who is comfortable setting boundaries? Or just answer the question yes or no. Are you comfortable setting boundaries? Just learning to, some yeses, not me, okay. Not all the time, 99% of the time. Working on it, yes, yes, no. 100% yes, yes. Depends on the person, interesting. Getting there, now yes, yes, no. Yes about certain things, okay? Okay, so for those of you that said yes, brava. It's really important on planet Earth. But those of you that said no, let's talk to those of you that said no. I'm going to light some sage for this. Why? Why aren't you comfortable setting boundaries? Who taught you that you're not allowed to have boundaries? Where did you learn, or when did you learn that you're not allowed to have boundaries? Or even, what were you taught in your early adulthood, is what I'm seeing, about boundaries? Because what I'm seeing right now is that certain individuals maybe told you you're not allowed to have boundaries, and you accepted that as your truth. Never was taught what they were until 2 years ago. Jackie can really relate with that. I first learned about boundaries 4 years ago, and I was like, oh my goodness, I've never practiced boundaries in my life. But they're so important. So I'm seeing is the word respectful boundaries. So sometimes it's, again, they're showing me the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. So if we're trying to set a boundary while we're activated in our sympathetic nervous system, aka our fight or flight, it's gonna get distorted, because basically whoever you're trying to set this boundary with, they're gonna see that you're scattered and you're out of sorts and you're not in alignment, and so they're not necessarily even gonna take you seriously. So what I would guide you to here is another timing piece of, when are you in the right energy and the right frame to set these boundaries? Are you setting them in a respectful way? Watching my mom never be able to say no, and I took that on, but working on breaking it. Jordan, I can really relate to that. My mom was very similar when she was alive. She was very similar to that. So, okay, they're showing me this. Some of you, the reason you struggle with boundaries is because someone that you looked up to, doesn't have to be a parent or a caregiver, but it could be, you saw them not have boundaries, and this was also paired with that you respected these individuals. So you saw them as, that's who I want to be. I want to be like them. And I'm observing they don't have boundaries, so ipso facto, I must not have boundaries. So see where that might be showing up for you, because boundaries are very important. And again, they're just showing me the word respectful. So we need to respectfully communicate our boundaries. And we need to express the boundary from the parasympathetic nervous system when we're settled in the body, in the vessel, in the mind. And so if you are setting a boundary and someone's saying you're selfish, how can you let that wash around and down into Mama Gaia to be recycled, to be repurposed, to be, made into something new? Because, so the situation, I know that Laura, you've worked on it, but some people haven't. So if you're expressing a boundary, I'm just going to take us through a little scenario here. You're expressing a boundary and they say you are selfish. The reason that they're saying you are selfish is because of their own filtration system around how they operate with boundaries. So someone that's calling you selfish for having a boundary probably isn't practicing boundaries themselves, and they're probably labeling themselves as selfish whenever they set a boundary. So this is just another reminder of how projections may play out on the earth plane. If someone is labeling you for something you are in the act of doing, they too, when they are in the act of doing that same very thing, are labeling themselves as selfish. For me, myself, if it doesn't affect me personally, then why would I let it leave effects on me? It's one way to communicate it. So I think the reminder here is just pretty basic, which is, are they living your life? These people that are labeling you, these people that are judging you, are they in your shoes? Are they you? Are they going to have to wake up in your body every day? No. So it's time to really train ourselves that, and then again, it's roping back into validation. So the part of ourselves that might want to hold on to that, shift that, and convince them, I'm not selfish. That's the same part of our ego or our belief data bank that is very glued, maybe unconsciously, to validation. So the part of you that really wants validation and is hungry for validation might show up, come to the forefront, and kind of override. They're also showing me that we all have this. Okay, so they're showing me two things. They're showing me the soul has an energetic of the protector. Also, the ego has the energetic of the protector. So we're really going to have to get fine and nuanced in whatever is showing up for us in the way of defensiveness or trying to convince someone or trying to, get someone to see what we're seeing. Check in on that validation piece. Am I seeking validation? And then you might get a yes, might get a no. But have these basically, what they're trying to do right now is like provide for you little tiny tools in your energetic field to access when need be. So when you feel these energetics, check in, is it my desire for validation? And then if you do feel like validation is a piece, because I'm seeing that maybe half the group, there's 40 of you here, and then those of you watching it in the future, they're showing me 20% again. There might be 20%, not of the group of 40, but of you each individually, that still is unconsciously attached to validation. So that means you've done a lot of work on this. That means that there's just a little tiny bit left. And what might get this little tiny bit that's left is these solar flares, and is the light codes that we're going to be getting from 3i Atlas. Because 3i Atlas is the ancient of ancients. It's waking us up at a core soul level. It's activating remembrance. It's also activating dormant earth history, which sounds kind of weird, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Let me see here. They're showing me the two suns thing again. Some of you might have been there for my transmission, but what my guides showed me was that Earth used to be part of a binary star system like a million years ago. It's like really long time ago. And 3i Atlas is going to reactivate a lot of our memories of potentially those incarnations. Also, what they're showing me right now, and this is so complex, I can't believe I'm going to say it, but I will. They're showing me that the other star had planets around it that was in the binary system with Earth. And some of us had incarnations on those planets. And so when 3i Atlas interacts with our sun, that's why I'm telling you all about neutrality. Because this is it's going to be a mixed bag. We're going to get polarization from this. So it's going to activate your dormant spiritual gifts, but it's also going to activate those soul remembrances of traumatic experiences that caused you, let's say in the first place as a soul, to shut down those gifts. So I know that this is probably not making logical sense to all of you right now. That is okay. The energy is getting through. You are receiving what you're meant to energetically. I'm going to do some 528 hertz. Some of you might want to put your hands on your heart and just give yourself love. Because soul remembrance again, it brings up polarity. The pains, the pleasures, the pains, the pleasures. It's going to bring about a remembrance of both. But what they're showing me is that when we remember, we heal. They want me to say that again. When we remember, we heal. When we remember, we heal. They're also showing me the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. They're showing me that, the shadow, the gift, the city, they kind of work as one. They're a flow. They're a process. So if we're avoiding all these, we can say trauma walls or fear walls or the times that we shut off the memory, if we run away from it, then what's on the other side of that we will not be able to access. Yeah. Okay. Next card. Okay, I don't know why they're saying this, but they're saying Qigong, walking, yoga, Tai Chi, hands on trees, hugging trees, bare feet in grass, salt baths, drawing, coloring, painting, singing, dancing, instruments. They're just planning a bunch of little tools that may work. Poetry. Some of you reading. These are all things that we want you to play with. So let's say you do feel like a triggery moment, or you feel like, oh gosh, I'm dipping into my sympathetic nervous system again. I'm reverting to old ways. My mood is dipping. I'm moving into a depression. I'm feeling anxiety. I'm ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Whatever these are, how can you be with them with neutrality and anchor them? So Sometimes you're feeling a lot of the feels, and it feels like too much of the feels. When you go out in nature and you start grounding, anchoring, your feet are stepping light into the earth. You're completing the circuit. So once we bring up all this stuff in the field, the toroidal field, we got to ground it. We got to anchor it. That's an important process that they're saying some of you are missing. They're also saying some of you would be really benefited by, okay. They're saying present yourself with a 30-day challenge where you do a movement practice every single day. Some days it might be you're standing up and you're swaying and you're tapping yourself out and you're just doing gentle movement. Some days it might be you're running. Some days it might be your Tai Chi. Some days it might be you're walking. Some day, but what they're saying is basically movement is going to be the elixir that's going to get us through all of this reactivation of remembrance. It's really important right now. And no, it's not about you have to have this body weight and your body has to look this way and have zero body fat and ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Nothing to do with that. This is about a holistic health. This is about when you get yourself into movement, you are assisting yourself, you're assisting your mind, body, spirit complex. Your mind, body, spirit complex. It is a complex. You're layering bodies, that's a complex. Okay. And now baby steps. Wow, this card really reminds me of what I was just talking about with the two suns. Yeah, I'm seeing like temples. I'm seeing like really beautiful land that had like been kind of like ripped. Like, it's hard to explain. Action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Thank you, Darren. Okay. Okay, so follow your intuition before it makes sense. Okay, they're saying they want to rewire your intuition. Some of you think that your intuition is supposed to make sense. Probably not. Your intuition a lot of the time isn't going to make much logical or ego belief data bank alignment sense. Does that make sense? How hard was it to remove the being lazy script? I struggled for a long time. Oh, I see what you're saying, Raven. So when you're taking rest and you're going slow and you're taking breaks and you're taking care of yourself, you get that program that pops up saying you're lazy. Yeah, okay. It's been a while since I've had that one, but let me dig. And playing, yeah. What they're showing me right now is the root and the sacral chakra. So they're showing me that instead of going into story about it or figuring out like what you learned from your upbringing, it's more so about like tune into the actual, I know some of you aren't really working with your chakras in a fine, subtle way, but it is the amplifier to your healing journey. So try to like scan within yourself, like, is that laziness program, is it activated in your sacral, or is it activated in your root, or is it activated in your solar plexus? Try to see where these programs that are limiters are activated. Because basically what you're going to do is go in and deactivate it. Oh, I'm sweating like crazy right now. You guys are all doing so much healing. I can feel it in my body. Okay. Raven, it might be the throat even. But basically whatever this program is that's popping up, let's say you're in full joy and you're lit up with full joy and you are literally like a heaven on earth being and you are just, and then watching from a soft bath, perfect, Absolutely perfect. And then that program floats in. You're lazy. Become the questioner. Why am I thinking this? Who taught me this? Is this mine? So it's going to be a subtle process. I mean, rewiring and reprogramming and deprogramming and all this stuff, I'm not going to pretend like you're going to do it once and it's a cakewalk and then it's all set. It's going to come in layers. It's going to come in layers. But chip away at those layers. Chip away at them. And then the other thing to bring into the equation is, especially things that are polarizing, we can use neutrality. We can also use curiosity. So how can I shift into the energy of curiosity? What might this be? Get really good at having solid ass conversations, amazing productive conversations in your own head. Because when you start meditating every single day, you're going to start to realize you are not your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. Your thoughts are a byproduct of two things: your ego and, believe it or not, the collective consciousness. And you need to have both sometimes it is just your ego, but sometimes it is. So the question I really want all of you to remind yourself of is this mine? Does this belong to me? Because you're going to find all these stories you're telling in your head that you're lazy to relax, you're lazy to play, it's unproductive to play, it's unproductive to rest, it's unproductive to go at your own pace. Those are out there programs. And they're thought streams that over time you are going to course correct. I don't know why they're having me do this, but here we are. They want you to course correct, course correct, course correct, course correct, course correct. That's what we're going to be doing is every single day, every single moment, every single breath, every single thought, everything that comes out of our mouth, we're going to be realigning, 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 course correct, course correct, course correct. Because something that's not in alignment with your soul, it's going to feel really frictitious. It's going to feel really knotty. It's going to feel really yucky even, especially these things that we're getting to that have been buried. So baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. And now we have Seraphim, Seraphisa. Me too, Darren. I'm going to read it. I read it out loud to my kids this morning. Okay. Yeah. Relax and open up to Source. Just do that. I allow Source to stream through me. I allow my Source self to be present. The glorious Seraphim, Seraphisa, is one of the 144 seraphim who surrounds the Godhead and helps to keep the vibration of the universes high. With the other seraphim, she takes the thoughts of Source and chants them to angels who operate on lower frequency bands. These angels then bring them into manifestation. Like the other seraphim, Seraphisa does not connect directly with humans, but floats through the different dimensions of this universe, spreading her love and compassion. Since the cosmic moment in 2012, when Source Light touched the heart of every sentient being, she has chosen to project her golden light into our realms to help us relax and remain open-hearted. Her mere presence illuminates every being near her. This is a high-frequency card, reminding you that the more you relax, the more you can access divine light. So go ahead and just scan your body right now and see if any parts are tensing up and send relaxation to them. Take time to meditate and contemplate every single day. Remember that every breath draws in source energy, so consciously breathe more deeply. Visualize the beautiful and the joyful. Choose activities that fill you with soul satisfaction and harmony, and spend your days with those who align with your higher energies. We're doing that right here as a collective. You are all doing that right here. Find work that enables you to be who you truly are. So some of you, you know what it is you could be doing in the world that would allow you to be who you truly are, but you have a bunch of programs about, no, that's lazy, no, that's silly, no, they're going to make fun of us, no, they're going to judge us, no, I don't see anyone else doing this in the world, so I can't. Lies. You are being reminded that when you relax to a cellular level, magic and miracles happen and you can reach new heights. Your heart is free and every petal of it can open fully so that its golden center glows. Then the seraphim can touch you. So let's just, I'm just going to zoom back and share a personal story. It was 4 years ago. I was working in the corporate world. I was so depressed. I was so depressed. I was so depressed. I was really good at my job. I had been in it for 13 years. I was making a lot of money, and I had a giant spiritual awakening. I already had 2 kids, married. Everything was set, established. But there was a voice deep down inside of me crying out, saying, we are wasting this life. We are spending 40, sometimes 50, sometimes 60 weeks working at this job. And it's not what I'm meant to be doing. It's not what I'm meant to be doing. I started getting oracle decks. I started learning energy healing. I started learning coaching. I started learning channeling, remembering all of these things in truth. But everyone, I'm telling you right now, everyone in my environment other than my kids called me crazy. They said, you're a nut. What are you doing? What are you doing? I had so much judgment. But the call of your soul, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. And the longer you try, the harder it's going to feel. Thank you. So, it took me 2 years to even start using the oracle decks and like doing oracle type things. Because I had those programs, I'm hearing them now, these programs of, like, you can't do oracle readings and energy healings and channelings for a living. Who do you think you are? I had those thoughts, and they weren't mine. They weren't my thoughts. So what's coming up for all of you when I say this, when I share this vulnerable piece of my story? What's coming up for you? What's your soul been trying to get through and try to anchor through you? My heart chakra right now is doing a lot of healing for everybody. You're all doing it, but my vessel is feeling it. It's like spurting out sweat. And so some of you, you're just getting a general thing in your consciousness. But it's okay. We're activating some seeds. I stepped away as a nurse 5 years ago, 2 kids and husband too. Wow. Just started stepping into myself. Love, Al. I love you. I'm sending you love. We're all sending you love. I feel those words, yeah. So if you feel like you're fighting so hard to get clients, you're probably going after the wrong clients. I did that for a little while. What I would encourage you to do if you resonate with that statement is start to write out what your dream client is, who your dream client is, who are they, what are their needs, who is your dream client. And if you need some hints, they're probably going to be similar to you. They're probably going to be similar to what you maybe worked through. Everything that we've dealt with in this life, we've worked through, we've really shifted through, we've come to an embodied state of recognition and reconciliation. Now we have a nugget that can help someone else in that area. So if you have, like, if you're in a position where you've started a business and it's just not happening, the hard truth of it is that there's usually more work to be done within you. And you probably need to tell your story. You need to be vulnerable. You need to be honest. People can sense that. So, in your head, you're probably, and Mel, I might be just seeing you, but in your head, you might have like all these rules about what you have to be as a business owner, what your clients are supposed to be like, how you're supposed to be carrying out your sessions. Pivot, 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 shift, 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 shift. Something isn't working? Try something else. Learn as you go. Because sometimes we start out in a certain way and it's just not the right format. It's not the right format. It's not a resonant format. Try something else. Play. Experiment. Get curious. Because at the end of the day, the business that's going to be the most successful for you is the one that is your true soul mission. So when you start, so for me, for example, my true mission is to unify and harmonize the field. That's my mission. That's my goal. That's where I'm aiming. That's where I'm anchoring. That's where I'm always checking in. Is this going to help to unify the field? Is this going to help to harmonize the field? And if it's not, I don't do it. So another thing you can do is try to see your life from like after your life, when you're done with your life. And like look at your life as it was or as it has been, and ask yourself from that soulful perspective, did I do what I came there to do? Did I experience what I came there to experience? So that's really the way that my NDE has benefited me most, was I got to experience that, past life review 10 years ago. And that's what really like made me very clear on where I'm out of alignment as a soul. I had to learn to love myself during my lowest points instead of hating myself. Right, and that's such a process. It's such a process. But a valuable one. One worth your time, one worth your efforts, one worth your pursuit. Because when you're really loving yourself fully and you know that you're doing what you came here to do, everything sort of just comes together. Okay, so we got a lot of energy, a lot of stuff that came through today, but we're going to sweeten the sauce and give you some visual activators. Do you guys want some visual activators? I have 3 here that my guides told me to bring through. I'm just going to show them to you, and you're going to take a few breaths with them. Okay. Here's the first visual activator. You can just look at it and breathe with it. Just breathe. Just breathe. 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 Hathor very present in this one. Okay. Now this one is going to be assisting to reactivate your 12th dimensional shield, which we really did in this one, even though we didn't talk about it. So here's this 12th dimensional shield. I don't have any smoke going, but I just saw smoke on the screen. That was so weird. Okay. Yeah, I have nothing burning, so that was strange. Spirits! Yeah, that's a little strange, but we're activating some real soulful embodiment here, so. What an experience today. We manifested a visual of smoke on a screen. That's fun. Yeah, Metatron. So yeah, actually, as you're all looking at this, is anything coming up? I'm seeing Metatron, the 12th dimensional shield. Ra, okay. DNA, yep. So that's what we're really doing here. Tethering, activation, love it. Seeing codes and numbers, beautiful. Yeah, these do have the potential to activate your spiritual gifts, which your ego may say, what? No! But your soul is like, oh, yes! Math, interesting. Okay, so there's one more. Unless we feel like we're filled up with light, and then I'll just only do the 2. Do we want the other one? This one's a little weird. Let's go, bring it. Love the enthusiasm. Okay. A few years ago, I started seeing the ophonym and the oraphim. It looks like a bunch of, it's like a, my daughter calls it a halo. It's like a ring of eyes, and then there's a bunch of wings coming off of it. So this one's a pretty potent one. This will definitely get you in tune with your quantum embodiment and your ability to know that you can see basically, if you want to take your consciousness and see through the eyes of a table, or the eyes of an animal, or the eyes of a home, or the eyes of a friend, or pretty much anything, the ophonym and the oraphim will help you with this. Well, good. They're doing some throat clearing. Beautiful. So the way that my guides kind of showed me this energetic is that the oraphim is like it's like almost like a mirror in between the ophonym and the oraphim, and the oraphim is like it's like the 7th dimension and above, and then the ophonym are like operating like it's like a mirror version. It's like a mirror. It's very hard to explain how I see these things because they're very energetic. You probably had a big third eye activation, so drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Ooh. You probably had a big third eye activation. So drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Oop. I'm back. I just paused for a moment. Second. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Am I back? I guess I did go the full hour. Okay, good. So, yeah, this was a very powerful session today. If you had wanted for your spiritual gifts to be more accessed, then that was done today. And the third eye piece, this is happening for us as a human collective. So, like I talked about with that X-class flare, it's going to happen, okay? When is the question, but it will occur. Once you see that there has been an X-class flare, that is the time to really return to the remembrance of this transmission. Because all of you wouldn't really resonate with me unless you've already had been working on your third eye, or at least opening it and accessing it and seeing through it. You feel euphoric. Okay, beautiful. Then this was definitely for you today. But what I want to plant here is that, and this is something I challenge you all to very often, but please be the earth angels. Because of the 8 billion souls on the planet, we probably have about 20% of that population that's really operating with a fully open third eye, and the rest of everyone are going to be introduced to this energetic. This one's going to be only in my energy healing membership. I find that when I post my TikTok replays on YouTube, they don't do very well, and they seem to piss people off. I don't know why. But I know, Darren. I know. So it's 20, what they're showing me right now, I'm just asking. They're saying 20% is fully operating with an open third eye. But there's 60% that are already starting to open their third eye, they're in the works. It's in process. But then there's a 20% that, they're just showing me maybe 10 to 15% that didn't even use their third eye at all. So it's about 10 to 15%. And these are very rough estimates, and they're just scanning the current moment. In 5 minutes from now, it might be different because there might be a whole bunch of people sitting out and meditating and connecting with nature and doing what they need to do to get this in flow. Why do I feel that it makes people mad? I don't know. They just usually comment really nasty things. It's just kind of, but the energy healing membership is $11 a month, and the first week is free. So if you really do want to get this in again, you could just sign up for free and cancel in 2 days. I'm not here to take your money. I'm here to help. I'm here to assist. I'm here to walk with you. I don't want any of you to look at me like I am somehow I'm more tapped in, or I'm higher, or I'm blah, blah, blah. That's just a thing your ego is saying. So many of you come here and it's frequent. You're resonating with me. You wouldn't resonate with me if you didn't have really similar things going on and activating. And the membership is filled with over 100 transmissions. So please take your time through it, because they're all channeled from the Akashic Records. Some stuff is channeled from the High Council of Light. Some stuff is just channeled from my higher self. But I hope that you all enjoyed this today. It was a powerful one, and let's keep this remembrance. Let's keep this remembrance that we can always go back to neutrality. We can always go back to center. We can always find comfort within our inner being, our connection point to source. It's in my profile here. It's in my link tree. It's the Energy Healing membership. And if you have any difficulty finding it, then just message me and I'll hook you up. I love you all so much. This was a delightful session. It's a delightful group that we have gathered here together, and I'm grateful for each and every single one of you. Let's do the normal. Let's take a deep breath together. We're going to hold it. Okay, get ready. Deep breath in. Fill up, and hold. 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 And release. I love you all. Namaste.